Today I want to guide you through the process of how do you choose what table is right for you. Which table is big enough or small enough for your space that's going to give you the functionality that you need to sit the people around it that you want to enjoy your meal with, enjoy conversation with. And through this video, we're going to guide you through the process of measuring your space and picking out the right size and shape of table that's going to give you the most enjoyment and the most functionality over years to come. Hi, I'm Tim Steenberg. I've been working here at Furniture Fair going on 6 years now. I've got my introduction to furniture in my high school years working for an antique auctioneer and talking to the different dealers and learning about antique furniture and dining tables. Today we're going to learn about how to choose the right table for your space, something that's going to fit comfortably and give you the seating that you need. Some important things to consider when selecting a table is, first of all, how many people do you want to sit? Do you like to be at conventional dining height, or would you rather have a counter height table? How much space do you have? How much clearance? Are you keeping your walkways open? What is the lighting in the room like? What is your budget? These are all things when you're picking out a table that are important to consider to make sure that you get the right table that's going to work for you in your situation and in your space. Most people come in with expectations of, how many people they want to sit at the table. Sometimes their expectations can exceed their physical limitations of the space that they're in. I've had customers come in and they've got this vision of what they want. They want a pedestal table or a trestle table, but they want to fit all these people around it. And through discussion, we will find that sometimes a leg table will give them more seating space because they can push the chairs in all the way to clear the walkways when it's not in use. Whereas a pedestal table, sometimes a pedestal will get in the way of them being able to maximize both the seating and the clearance around the table. Like I mentioned before, if you have other furniture in a room, you've downsized and made this rectangular space a square space. So now you need to look at a more round table or a square table, where if you have a large rectangular room, a rectangular table is going to fill the space better and give you more maximum seating for it. Now I want to start discussing how do you measure your room to make sure that you get the right table that's going to fit your needs but yet fit the space that you have available. And it's going to make a little bit of difference depending on if it's a formal dining room or an eat-in kitchen. In a formal dining room, typically you're in an enclosed space. You have walls around you. So you want to keep in mind, the walkways, the comfort of your guests. You don't want to overcrowd the room. Is there going to be other furniture in the room? China cabinets, let's say, or a serving piece. That's going to shorten the distance that you have to place the table. So when you're measuring, you want to take that into account. So measure out, drop your cards or your coins, whatever you're going to do, measure out 6 feet, 8 feet. How much room can you go with the table? I always try to start at the biggest and then I can move in from that and get a smaller table that fits my needs. Oftentimes I get asked, what height table is best for my situation? Typically in a formal dining setting, you're going to be at a conventional dining height. It just looks best for the space. It's enclosed and you don't want to be way up high and it becomes a little imposing for the space. In an eating kitchen environment, you have your counter that's sitting there. If it's parallel to the counter and you're going to a larger table, sometimes you just have a sea of height and it looks a little awkward. If you're going to a smaller table, you can get away with it, like a 54 by 54 inch square in between the dining room and the living area is very normal. And a lot of it comes down to personal choice. Who's going to be sitting? Do you have small kids? Do you want them climbing up on the stools? Elderly people actually sometimes prefer the counter height because it's easier for them to get up out of the table. But it comes down to personal choice and what looks best in your space. Each situation is going to be a little different, but we'll help guide you through that process. Now, when it comes to height, one good way to do is come into the store. Go to the store and sit in the different tables at the different heights. See what feels best. Look at a big dining height versus a big counter height. and see which would look better in your space. Is that going to be too imposing at counter height? Do we need to lower it to dining height? This is something that's probably best done when you come to the store and talk to one of our product specialists. We'll help guide you through the process. And I've mentioned earlier about clearance. Clearance is the amount of space that's around the table. It gives us an idea of what area we need in order to navigate, to get around the table, to get into our seats. When picking out a dining table, keeping in mind what clearance you need around that table is very important. Now, I have seen situations where people have just come in and fallen in love with a table and bought it, only to get it home and find out that they can't open the door to their patio, or there's not room for them to walk around and get into the end seat. In that situation, you bought a piece of furniture, it looks lovely, but it doesn't fit your space. And now your only remedy is to try to sell that table and come in and buy another one that's going to fit your space. Is budget a factor in picking out the right table? It can be, depending on your situation. You just want to make sure you get something that you're comfortable with and that you think you can live with for a long time to come. There's always options available depending on your budget to get what you need. Now, if you're interested in learning more about our different options for dining room tables, check out our video on Good, Better, and Best done by Nathan Smith. It's a great informative video that will let you know what you can get for your budget. At this point, you've decided that you're interested in getting a new table, dining room set. There's a few different options you have here. You can browse our website and look at the many options we have available to you. You can come into our store. We have 11 stores in the tri-state area that are here for you to come in and sit, touch, feel, see what options are out there for you. Talk to one of our product specialists in the store. They can guide you through other options. We have custom options available so we can make a table that's going to fit whatever need you have. And the best thing to do is schedule an appointment with one of our many product specialists at each store where they can dedicate time just to you, the consumer, to help you and guide you through this process to make sure that we get the right table and chair set that's going to work for you in your space. And by all means, measure before you come in.